let's discuss the facial features, which consist of the ears, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. First, we'll crochet the ears. There are 2 ears, both made using the adjustable magic ring. We crochet around the ring. Now, let's show. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Then work 2 beginning chains. Next, crochet a half double crochet in the ring. Five double crochets. Then another half double crochet, 2 chains, and finally, make a slip stitch. After finishing, close the ring. Then leave about 25 centimeters of yarn tail, and fasten off the yarn. And there you have it, 1 ear completed. Refer to the form and crochet another one. After completing the ears, sew them onto both sides of the head slightly towards the front. Sew them on between rounds 7 to 11. When sewing, keep the right side facing forward. Now, let's show. Thread the reserved yarn tail onto the needle. Then press it flat and sew in the corresponding position. There's no specific method for sewing on. Just make sure it's securely attached. Weave in the ends after sewing. Also weave in the starting end. One ear is now sewn on. That concludes the ears. Next, we'll make the eyes. The eyes consist of fabric pieces, eye frames, and finished eyes. Start by crocheting the fabric piece. Use the adjustable magic ring. Work around the ring. The new stitch technique used is Pt2 for HDC 3-in-1. Now, let's show. Take out the corresponding color yarn. Start with an adjustable magic ring. Then crochet 6x stitch single crochets into the ring. Finish and close the ring. Then join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. This completes the first round. Next, we'll crochet round 2. Chain 1 as beginning chain. Then crochet the group in parentheses. Crochet a SC2 in 1. Then crochet HDC 3 in 1. That is, crochet 3 half double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. This completes the HDC 3 in 1. Then crochet another SC2 in 1. Crochet another group. Finish with a slip stitch and pull tight. Leave a yarn tail of about 20 centimeters and fasten off the yarn. This completes round 2. A fabric piece is crocheted. Crochet another one in the same way. After both fabric pieces are crocheted, sew them onto the head, rounds 7 to 12, with the wrong side out. When sewing, position the HDC 3 in 1 towards the sides. Sew on both eyes symmetrically. Separate them by approximately 8 or 9 stitches. The sewing method is identical to the heart decoration sewing method. Here, pick up the surface strands on the right side, and sew them onto the head. Now, follow the methods you've learned to sew on the fabric pieces. With the corresponding color thread, glue on the I-frames along the fabric pieces. Now, let's show. Cut about 20 centimeters of the corresponding color yarn. Pick one strand. Then wrap it round the fabric pieces. You can refer to the finished product. Start wrapping from the outside. Dip the needle into a small amount of glue. Glue down the strand. Next, thread the strand onto the needle. Leave a little space from the fabric piece. Thread the strand into the head. For the end, you can thread it through again. Then weave in the ends inside the head. Apply a small amount of glue to secure the tail. Then stick a finished eye on the inner side of the fabric piece. One eye is now complete. Following the same method, make the other eye as well. Pay attention to inserting the strand for the other eye frame symmetrically. Now let's make the nose and mouth. Both are embroidered. Embroider the mouth between round 7 and 8. Embroider the nose on round 10. Now I'll demonstrate using the mouth as an example. I'll show you the embroidery technique. Cut about 30 centimeters of yarn in the corresponding color. No need to separate the strands. Thread the yarn onto needle. Then, at the corresponding position on the head, secure the yarn tail on the wrong side. Next, stitch out to embroider. Then wrap the yarn around the needle 12 times. If you want the mouth bigger or smaller, you can wrap more or fewer times. Note that when wrapping the yarn, do it slightly loose. After wrapping, pull out the sewing needle. Adjust it a bit. Embroider again using the same method. Stitch out at the same position above it. Then wrap the yarn 12 times. If there's a gap here, you can sew a few stitches to fill it in. Finally, weave in the ends inside the head. That completes the mouth. Next, following the same method, embroider the nose above the mouth. For the nose, wrap only 5 times. Similarly, you can adjust the size by wrapping more or fewer times. Wrap more or fewer times. That finishes the nose. Finally, according to your preference, apply blush on both sides of the eyes. That completes the facial features. Next, let's make the hair. It consists of the upper part, the lower part, and the braid. Let's start with the upper part. First, make braids. Then, sew them around in circles onto the head. You can start sewing from the last round of the head at the top, or from one round above the opening. The upper part consists of 2 rounds. There are 3 rounds between them. Now, let's show. Cut 9 strands about 1.5 meters long. Then hold them together. Tie a knot at one end. Next, combine every 3 strands. Divide them into 3 sections. Then braid them. You can braid it slightly loose. After braiding, tie another knot. Trim it. The braid is now complete. Next, sew the hair onto the main part. Start sewing from the corresponding position. First, weave in the ends inside the main part. Then fold the knotted part of the braid inward. Stitch out at the corresponding position. Then sew a few stitches at the beginning to secure it. Slightly tighten it. When sewing later, Pick up 1 to 2 strands from the surface of the last round and sew. Then fold the braid 2 or 3 times like this. Sew to secure it. Then fix it to the strand on the surface of the last round. Continue sewing using this method for pleats. Keep sewing. When you reach the edge, secure it at the edge as well. Then sew the rest. If the braid is not long enough, fold the knotted part inside. You can make another one, and continue sewing. Similarly, fold the knotted part inward. After sewing one round, Continue sewing downward with the corresponding number of rounds spaced. Keep sewing down to finish this round. If the yarn tail is not long enough, tie a knot and weave in the ends, then pick up new yarn to continue sewing. Then continue picking up yarn to sew the rest. Similarly, if the braid is not long enough, make another braid and continue sewing. That completes the upper part of the hair. Now let's work on the lower part of the hair. In front, start 3 rounds below the upper part. At the back, sew 1 round below the opening. After sewing 1 round, there's no need to sew more in front. Then sew the back hair. Align both sides roughly with the back of the ears. You can refer to the finished product for the hair shape, or sew according to your own preference. Similarly, during the sewing process at the back, if the braid is not long enough, you can make another braid and continue sewing. After sewing, tie off and weave in the ends. That completes the lower part of the hair. Next, let's make the braids. There are 2 identical ones. Both involve cutting 15 strands of yarn, about 20 centimeters long. Tie a knot at one end. Then combine 5 strands together. Divide them into 3 sections. Braid them. Braid for about 3 centimeters. Then take 2 strands and tie them together. Finally, leave a bit and cut off. Now, you can start making the braids on your own. After braiding, sew one end to the sides underneath the head, behind the ear. First fold it in half at the beginning. Then sew a few stitches to secure it. Now, everyone follow the previous method to sew it properly. After sewing, attach 2 pom-poms to the end of the braid. That completes the braided section. Up to this point, we've covered all the hair elements. Next, let's make the decorations. The decorations consist of a scarf, flowers, and hair clips. First, crochet the scarf. Using the foundation chain, crochet along the foundation chain. Now, let's show. Start with a chain. Next, crochet the first row. Chain 4 as a turning chain. Chain 1 for the space. Then work 3 double crochets in the foundation chain. Chain 1. Then work a treble crochet in the same stitch as the double crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert. Pull the yarn through. Then yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. That completes the treble crochet. The first row is also completed. Next, crochet the second row. Chain 4 as a turning chain. Turn your work. Work 1 chain space. Then crochet 3 double crochets in the chain space from the previous row. Work 1 chain. Follow with 1 double crochet in the middle of previous row's 3 double crochets. One more chain. Next, crochet 3 double crochets in the next chain space. One more chain. Finally, in the top of turning chain from the previous row, pick up the 2 strands. Crochet 1 treble crochet. That completes the second row. Treat the right side of this row as the right side of the scarf. Now let's crochet the third row. Chain 4 as a turning chain. Turn the work. After completing the turning chains for each subsequent row, turn the work. Work 1 chain space. Then crochet 3 double crochets in the left chain space. One more chain. Next, in these following 2 chain spaces, work 2 double crochets for each one. Between the DC2 group, work 1 chain space. After that, work 1 chain. In the next chain space, work 3 double crochets. One more chain. Finally, in the top of the previous row's turning chain, work 1 treble crochet. That completes the third row. Now let's crochet the fourth row. Make 4 chains as the turning chain. Turn the work. Work 1 more chain. Then, in each chain spaces from the previous row, work 3 double crochets. Between each DC3 group, work 1 chain. After that, work 1 chain. Finally, work 1 treble crochet. That completes the fourth row. Next, follow the method used for the fourth row. Refer to the chart. Continue to work until you reach the required row number. After completing, do not cut the yarn. Here's my completed sample. With the yarn tail, continue to crochet the corresponding number of chains. After completing, starting from the second chain from the hook, work loose slip stitches back. Note, crochet through the back bump of the chain stitch. After completing, work slip stitches along the stitches and the chain spaces of last row. Crochet one stitch in the turning chain as well. Then crochet the corresponding number of chains. After completing, continue working slip stitches back. After completing, leave about 60 centimeters of yarn tail, and fasten off the yarn. The scarf crochet is now complete. Weave in the beginning end on the wrong side. Then, fold the scarf toward the right side twice along the second to last row. Then secure it well using the reserved yarn tail. Carry the yarn tail to the corresponding position. When sewing, avoid leaving any marks on the right side. At the end, secure with a few extra stitches. Weave in the ends. Next, take another piece of yarn and sew the scarf onto the head. Mind to sew with the right side facing outwards. The sides should be behind the ears. And the fold of the scarf should be slightly in front of the head. When sewing, pick up the strands and sew it to the hair. Now, everyone can finish sewing it themselves. After sewing, take the chain stitch with a bow tie. Then glue down the rest of it securely. Finally, glue 5 flowers evenly across the fold of the scarf. Next, let's make the hair clip. First, sew on 2 segments of about 2 centimeters on the right side. Then trim and glue coin to one side of the segments. Now, let's sew. Cut about 15 centimeters of the corresponding color yarn. Thread the needle. Secure the yarn tail inside the head first. Then pull out the needle and embroider. After embroidering, secure the yarn tail inside the head again. Then use the corresponding color yarn. At a little higher up, embroider another line segment. After both line segments are embroidered, you can dip the needle into a small amount of glue and secure it in place. Finally, cut out coins from non-woven fabric according to the pattern. Glue the coins onto one side of the line segments. Now you can complete them on your own. That concludes the hair clip. The decorations are now all covered. Lastly, we'll crochet the strap. Crochet a Romanian cord about 1 meter long for the strap. The exact length of the strap can be adjusted according to personal needs. Note, the strap is crocheted by combining 2 strands into one. You can take one yarn end from the outside and one from the inside of the small yarn ball. Crochet them together. Leave a tail of about 20 centimeters before and after crocheting for sewing. These will be used for sewing. Now I'll demonstrate how to crochet the Romanian cord. First learn the method. Then crochet. Now I'll demonstrate the crocheting technique of the Romanian cord. Start with a foundation chain. Chain 2. Then insert the hook into the first chain stitch top loop. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over again. Pull the yarn through both loops. Keep the hook still. Turn the fabric piece clockwise below it. Then, pick up these 2 strands with the hook. Yarn over. Pull through. Yarn over again. Pull through the loops on the hook. Continue turning the fabric piece clockwise. Pick up these 2 strands with the hook. Yarn over. Work a single crochet. Continue turning the fabric piece clockwise. Pick up the same 2 strands as before, and work a single crochet. Repeat this method all the way around. Turn the fabric piece clockwise. Then pick up the 2 vertical strands above left and work a single crochet. Crochet until you reach the desired length. Then crochet 1 chain to secure. Leave yarn tails. Cut the yarn. If sewing is needed, leave a long yarn tail. That's the crocheting technique of the Romanian cord. After the strap is crocheted, sew it onto both sides of the opening. There's no specific requirement for the sewing method. Just make sure it's secure. Mind that the strap needs to be threaded through from behind the scarf at the row, counting the second chain space from inside. Once sewn, weave in the ends inside the strap. That concludes the instructions for the strap. Up to this point, we've covered everything about this bag. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.